It's the Dep Lewis Show. The Dep Lewis Show. It's the Dep Lewis Show. It's the Dep Lewis Show. The Dep Lewis Show. It's the Dep Lewis Show. It's the Dep Lewis Show. The Dep Lewis Show. It's the Dep Lewis Show.
Welcome to the Dep Lewis Show, episode 29. This is your host, Dep Lewis, and today is Sunday, April 23rd, 2023. And welcome to the show out there. I hope you're doing great while you're riding around and you're getting it. Maybe you're running a treadmill, maybe you're running an errand, maybe you're running a store. I don't know what you're doing out there, but hopefully you're having a great time. And thank you for listening to the show as always for the best video game news and thoughts in the whole entire world. This is the Dep Lewis Show. So if you'd like to help out this world famous show, follow Dep Lewis Show everywhere. Like, subscribe, rate, comment, review, turn on notifications, and tell a friend. Email any questions or feedback to DepLewisShow@gmail.com. That email box is open 24/7, 365 days. So please make sure to send an email there, and you may even get a response. Or you may even get your question read on the world famous Dep Lewis Show. Can you believe it? Full episodes of Dep Lewis Show on Apple Podcast, Spotify, Google, YouTube, Patreon, and more on my Buzzsprout page. The Buzzsprout page is a great hub for you to find the perfect place for you to listen to the Dep Lewis Show weekly. And then for anyone to find it and listen to it. It's a great place to share it. It's a great place to listen. It's a great hub to find the best place to listen. Buzzsprout is A-OK. You can find clips of the show on YouTube and TikTok. If you want to see some gameplay footage alongside the clips of the podcast talking about that particular section or game. And then we're going to talk about the structure and the highlights of what we're going to do today. So I want to keep you informed out there, listener, of what we're going to be going through today. So we're going to start with some notes from last show, like usual. And then in the first section, we're going to talk about what I've been playing. So which video games I've been playing since we last talked. I have one main game that I've been playing, and I have one demo I've been playing. So I want to talk about that. And then there's another game I started playing in the last couple of days. It's an old release, but something I've been dabbling back into, and we'll talk about that some too. And then the mid section of this show, we're going to smoke on some mid. We're going to talk about what I've been seeing across the video game landscape. So we're going to talk about there was a showcase that happened from Nintendo. There is a fest coming up that I want to talk about. There's some DLC. There's a collection of games I want to talk about. Another collection of games. And then there's two releases that came out. So there's a lot to talk about in the midsection. So there's a large portion of mid that we got to get through. So it's going to be a little bit rough there in the midsection. And then in the final section of this show, the miscellaneous talk section, we're going to talk some comedy. I watched a special. There's a special coming out that I might be interested in. There is another comedian I want to talk to you about. And then we're going to get into the world of sports. We're going to talk about the greatest teams in the universe and what they've been doing. And that's the plan for the show today. So I know you're going to be into every second of that. So just strap your seatbelts in. Put your tray down, whatever else they tell you to do on an airplane, and just get ready for a wonderful show, because that's what this is going to be. It's going to be the 29th episode of the Dep Lewis Show. So this should be the best one, I would say. So let's see. All right, so let's start with the notes from last show. Let's get right into this thing. So I talked about this game some, and I don't know if I cleared this up, but Redfall, it releases May 2nd, 2023 for Xbox Series X and S and PC. So this is a sort of a Xbox exclusive. This will be on Game Pass. This is the game where it's not going to be released with 60 frames per second right away, because they are not ready for it. And this is like it looks like it's supposed to be like a 4-player co-op kind of game, fighting zombies and stuff like that. So I'm going to at least try it because it's on Game Pass and I have access to that. But other than that, my expectations are a little bit tempered on this. So hopefully it'll go above that, and that'd be nice, but we'll see. So I just wanted to clarify the date, May 2nd. So that doesn't come out quite before next podcast, but it'll be right after it. So that game is coming close. So we'll be talking about Redfall sometime here in the near future. All right, now let's talk about some. Last week we talked about the Are You Garbage podcast from H. Foley and Ryan. And I couldn't think of these questions like normal questions they asked, so I went to the internet a little bit to refresh my memory, and these are just silly. These are questions like, has your family ever represented themselves in court? Did you drink milk with dinner growing up? Do you use colored Christmas lights? Do you take leftovers home from a restaurant? Do you steal shampoo from hotels? Did you or your family ever own a George Foreman grill? Do you give scratch-off lottery tickets as a gift? Anyone in your family ever own a PT Cruiser? And et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So most of those questions, if were leading, if they said yes, they'd probably be calling you garbage. But they would bring that up and they would discuss it, and then the guest will have some memories from, stealing some shampoo from a hotel once, and they'll tell you the story about it, and they'll tell you the other things they stole, and it's just pretty funny. And everyone has a little bit of garbage in them, but they do often get some classy guys on there, and they're like, wow, he's a real class act out there. But Are You Garbage podcast is really great, so go listen to that after you listen to the Dep Lewis Show every week. And once you've done all your Dep Lewis Show listening and then your homework, your Dep Lewis Show homework from telling people to like, subscribe, rate, comment, review, turn on notifications, and tell a friend. And then email any questions or feedback to DepLewisShow@gmail.com. Then you can go listen to the Are You Garbage podcast. So I just wanted to make sure I highlighted that and give you some more color around the things that they're asking, if that's the right way to say it, but whatever. All right, so the other thing I want to talk about this morning in the notes from last show, I don't know where this got brought up, but I've been trying to find this term or think of this term for a while, and it's called isekai. So Isekai. And this concept of an isekai started in Japanese folktales, and I'm probably not saying it all the way correct, but whatever. And this plot device typically allows the audience to learn about the new world at the same pace as the protagonist over the course of their quest or lifetime. It's one of the most popular genres in anime, and it's a subgenre of fantasy in which a character is suddenly transported from the world into a new or unfamiliar one. So I think the first time I heard this term was around this Pokemon Scarlet and Violet release, where they were saying, hey, this is a traditional Japanese isekai. And I was like, I don't know what that means. But then it was very interesting to find that term applies to a lot of different forms of media out there, and films and movies and TV shows and games and comic books and whatever, an isekai. So I wanted to make sure I highlighted that on this podcast so I could remember, and then also make you aware of this great term if you want to categorize something correctly when you're talking about it. So we'll maybe try to think of other isekai games as we go, but I think that Pokemon Scarlet was a great one, because you wake up, you have amnesia. Hey, I'm playing a game that we're going to talk about in this early section, a demo, and my character has amnesia, so I guess you could say that's an isekai of some kind. So we're going to get into it. So I just wanted to point this out, something I thought was interesting. I did some Google searching, trying to find what this word was, and I didn't have success, and then I was able to figure it out somehow, so by searching. So I just wanted to bring that joy to you. All right, so this is the first section of the show, so we're going to talk about what I've been playing. What video games have I been playing to come out here and represent the Dep Lewis Show with? And the first game I've been playing is Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, 2021's, I'm about to say Game of the Year, but 2021's release. One of the only PlayStation 5 releases out there. MinMax with 2 N's was asking on Twitter, what's your favorite PS5 exclusive game? And I'm racking my brain. And if you want to say God of War, you can't. It's on PS4. If you want to say Horizon, you can't. It's on PS4. If you want to say Demon's Souls, you can, but that's an old game that was remastered or remade. But there's not a lot of choices, and I think Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart might be the clear choice. So this has been fun. I've still been progressing in this. This has been my second week of dipping back into this game. I'm over the halfway mark in progression on there. I think I'm almost getting to the 3/4 mark. So I would love to be able to beat this game. That would be a great thing for me to say in this time, since I haven't beaten a game in a while. And it would be nice to be able to complete one. But I've been having fun with this. I'm now trying to save up. I was saying last week, I'm running a real Call of Duty run with my weapons. I have a pistol, a shotgun, and I have grenades. And then now I'm trying to add a sniper into my mix. So I really am playing Call of Duty with Ratchet. But I need double my money to get the sniper. So I'm working towards that next. I'm going to quit buying. I just keep buying the weapons, just trying to fill those out. But I'm going to save my money for a little bit and then try to get the sniper and see how that goes. But this game is very fun. I got into another section where you're Kit, the little robot for Rivet, and you have to do it's like a puzzle section like you had to do with Clank, and that was actually the section that was slowing me down the first time I was getting back into this game. It was kind of the reason I stopped, and I had to look up how to finish the third puzzle on this one, and I was right there, and I should have maybe just looked a little bit longer, but I did have to look at the puzzle, and it helped, and I was glad I did it because it helped me keep progressing. But this game is awesome, and even those sections are kind of cool. They're just, I guess I just stink at them, so it makes them a little more tough. To complete. But this game's been awesome. I like playing as Ratchet just as much as I like playing with Rivet, which is surprising because Rivet's a new character in the series, and I just really like this game. I like hopping from the different planets. I like the rifts. I was flying on a dinosaur thing, and I was on its back and shooting, and I was like, this feels like Star Wars, like doing some space combat. So Ratchet and Clank is very impressive. I would like to, I don't know if it would be like one of my greatest games ever I've played, but it would be like in a nice list of it or something. So I'm trying to give it a compliment here, but not be too crazy of a compliment. But it's a really good game. I believe it's, I'm sorry, drinking coffee. I believe it's still on sale on the PlayStation Store. I think it was $30, $29 and some change in the US. So only, there's different stores for the UK and Japan or whatever, but this is on the US store. You can get this game for $30 right now. And I believe that's through April 27th. So, obviously you're listening to this podcast on the day it's released because you're really smart. But if you're listening to it, a little bit later in the week, or maybe you're re-listening, for things you missed, which is, a thing many, many people do, then you'll get this information and be able to catch that sale before the 27th. So that's all I'm trying to say here. All right, so Ratchet and Clank, very great game. Go play it. I recommend it. Play it anytime you want. Go buy it now if it's on sale. Play it later. Play it yesterday. Play it whenever you need to. Ratchet and Clank, a great game. All right, the next game I've been playing is a demo. I've been playing it on Nintendo Switch. It's actually available now. I think it came out February 24th, 2023, but don't quote me on that. I believe it's $59.99. It is not part of the Nintendo voucher game promotion, or I would have purchased this game. The first game in this series is available on the Nintendo Switch game voucher promotion, but this one is not, and that game is Octopath Traveler 2, and the Prologue demo is what I'm playing. So I downloaded the demo for this because I wanted to see what this game is like and if I would be interested in it, and I think I really am. It lets you play 3 hours of the demo. I think I'm at least like an hour and a half, 2 hours in. I completed the first chapter for the character I picked, and then it lets you roam the area for the rest of your time, I believe. I don't know if there's anything else for me to complete, but it lets you explore for the rest of your time of the demo, so I've been doing that some too, and I did that some yesterday to capture the footage, but I think I'm more so at I guess it's called an impasse with this game, where I just would like to buy it now if I want to get this game. Another note though, even thinking it through in my head, any of your progress when you start the prologue carries over to the, if you purchase a full version of it. So that's another nice thing too. So, I don't know. This game right now has been on sale on a lot of platforms for $44.99, so $45, $15 off. That is not the case on the digital store. So, if you want to go cop a physical copy of this game somewhere, you can get it right now for $45. I've seen it on Amazon. I've seen it on GameStop and maybe Walmart, maybe a few other ones too. But it seems to be on a good sale right now. And let's see, I have some notes about this game. I say it looks and sounds great. The music is amazing. There is a section. My character's name is what? It's something with a C. It's an interesting name. I picked the apothecary, and she wakes up and she has amnesia and she doesn't know where she is, and she's actually scaring the villagers of the town because she's wearing an outfit that is representative of a bad group of people or something, and she ends up healing some of the people because she has the knowledge. She still has her knowledge of healing and all that kind of stuff, but she just doesn't know who she is. So that's the whole setup of her. And there's a section where she goes into this cave thing where you're kind of learning the battle. And there's some music that dropped, and you could hear Metro Boomin on there. You could hear 808 Mafia, or Lex Luger coming through with this beat. It was it was awesome. It was one of the cooler things I've heard in a video game, and music-wise in a video game. It was just unexpected and really cool. So I need to maybe find out some more information on that track and bring it up on a later podcast. But this, that was one small section from one of the 8 characters that had a really cool music thing in it from the first time I listened to it. So pretty cool. And I've always heard the music in this game is great. So, even if I don't purchase this game, I need to go check out the soundtrack at least. That's something maybe you should do as well. All right. I wrote I was confused some by the battle system and the break system, and I still am. I had to fight the two, it was the 2 boss characters that they let you fight in this chapter 1, and they were polluting the water, and I had to figure out how to kill them so they would quit polluting the water, and I ended up doing it though. And I did not look up any information on this. I just kept kind of brute forcing my way through it, but I had to heal a whole bunch, and I think I was doing something wrong with my strategy, but I kept fighting the 2 guys, and they would get their shield down, and then their shield would recharge or regen. The move after I didn't kill them, and then they just kind of be back to 4 with 4 on the shield, and the other guy would be up to 2. And I don't know, I haven't been able to find a discernible health bar for the enemy yet, besides that little icon I'm just talking about with like a 4 and the shield. But I think this game could be 100 hours or something, so there's probably a lot to learn here in this prologue. You probably can't expect to learn everything, but I've had a couple close battles in this game, which is interesting, but they're generally pretty fun. It's turn-based combat, and let's see what else I wrote. I wrote searching the chest is fun. Yeah, there's some exploratory stuff on the maps that's cool. The maps look amazing. It especially looks good on the OLED screen. I was playing some on my porch and in handheld mode, and that was really nice. And I was listening to, I had my Bluetooth headphones in, listening to this, and really enjoying the Octopath Traveler. I think that was adding to the to my enjoyment of it. Let's see, you can go around hitting Y on characters to get some more info. That was very cool and interesting. It adds some more flavor to the world and things for you to know. So that's been really fun from an RPG aspect. And yeah, and I'm interested to see how the stories are going to connect. There's 8 characters in this game. You pick one to start, and I don't know if you play through the whole game as your person and you see the other people throughout the story, or if you actually get to pick up their parts of the story when it's appropriate. So I don't know, but this is a sequel to a game where they've already done this. I never really played the first game besides playing the demo for a little bit, and I don't know why I'm more sold on it this time, but it just looks and sounds great. And I have the OLED now, so it's like enticing to want to play on that screen, and it's been on sale, so that's another reason I've been looking at it a whole lot lately and wanted to play this demo. But so now I've got the problem where I think I've sold myself on it, but we have Zelda coming very soon, so just might not be the best time to buy it, and maybe it'll be on sale in the future. But this game is available on PlayStation as well, not available on Xbox, so go check it out if you'd like to, and I think you probably should. Alright, so I just mentioned the new Zelda coming out, so I've been dipping and dabbling and diving, and I don't know any other words for that, but back into The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. I really just started this maybe 2 days ago. I'm just back in the world. I'm just walking around. I'm just trying to find out what I can do. I'm going into these shrines. I'm taking them slow. I took a shrine real slow yesterday, and I figured it out, and I was proud of myself. And I'm making some progress. I've had a weird backstory with this game where on my original Switch, I got the game sort of after it came out, maybe like 6 months or a year after it came out, something like that. And I played it, and I gave up at a point. And then I came back like a year later, and I started a new file because I wanted to be fresh. And I got, so far again in that file, and that's where it ended. And then I got my OLED, and I never transferred over any of my saves or stuff from my old Switch, so I just started anew. And so now I've been playing, technically my third start of this game, and I think I'm farther than I've ever been. So I'm making some progress to the Divine Beast. I got to Zora's Domain. I don't know if I've got the Zora's Domain, maybe on one of those playthroughs I have, but I was following Prince Sidon up the mountain. He's swimming, and I'm having to walk up this mountain and fight these enemies and risk my life, and he's just swimming along, having a great time. But now I've been given the armor to help me swim upstream, and I'm going to help them fight the Divine Beast. So I'm excited about this, and I've just been playing this game with no pressure to complete it or anything. I'm just getting back in, trying to get some Zelda, just get a little bit of my Zelda muscle memory coming back, and before the new big release on 5/12/2023, the Tears of the Kingdom. So this game's been fun. I think I would like this game more if I just kept playing it. I think if I had no other games to play and I just had Zelda, I would probably somehow get crazy into it. So I'm trying to do that a little bit on my own, of just trying to get into it. So it's been very fun. I know most of my friends have put many hours into this and have completed it, and so I'm just trying to get some more Zelda tools in my satchel before the new release. So we're going to see how it goes. So I've actually captured some footage this week, and you're going to be seeing some footage. So maybe we'll get Zelda in the rotation for a little while before the release of the sequel. So that is what I've been playing this week. It's been really a pretty great week in video games. It's been a little bit random because I've been back playing Ratchet, and I've been playing this demo, and I'm back playing Zelda. So I'm playing all old stuff right now, sort of. I've kind of let Dead Space go to the side, Fire Emblem Engage, and Hogwarts Legacy. I think those are my 3 big ones. Yeah, and Dead Cells, Return to Castlevania. I may have played that last week, but nothing substantial to report there. But that'll be a game that I'm playing consistently throughout the year, especially if I just have my Switch somewhere. So just trying to tell you, I got that Resident Evil 4 remake. I got that in my mind, just something I want to play. Have a Nice Death possibly, and then Metroid Prime Remastered. Those are the kind of games I'm thinking about that I have. I'm checking for sales and looking at them from time to time, thinking about if I should buy them or not. So just wanting you to know where my head is at for the video games. So we're going to take a break, and we're going to come back for the second section of this show, which is the what I've been seeing section. So the mid section, we talk about like cool video game news, cool releases, new releases of accessories or hardware, things like that. So the second section, the mid section, is very, very video game focused. The main meat, as the Fire Escape cast would say, of the show. And you need to come back in just a minute, so don't miss it. So you're going to hear some music, and you can go take a break if you'd like, but that music will be over very shortly, and you'll be back here in the Dep Lewis Show in just a few. Welcome back to the mid-section of the Dep Lewis Show, episode 29. Thank you for rejoining the show. We're going to talk about what I've been seeing around the video game world, and there's been a lot. So the first thing we're going to talk about is a showcase, the Nintendo Indie World. Happened on Wednesday, 4/19/2023. There were a lot of games shown in this. These were all indie games, slated to be released on the Nintendo Switch sometime in the near future, and some of them even got released, that day. So you really should go check out the full news of this. And you really should go watch the replay of this. Would be a great thing to do. You can watch it on the Nintendo's YouTube channel. I think I just watched the straight up show. I don't know if I watched anybody react over it. It might have been at too weird of a time for the outlets that I like to watch talk over it. But these are always fun to watch. You're always going to find something in these that you like if you're a Nintendo fan. So there just wasn't as much as normal, from my opinion, of things that I like from this. But, that's okay. I wrote this event was kind of disappointing to me. There were a lot of cat games shown. I don't have any hate for cats. I actually like cats, but that was just there was like 4 or 5 cat games shown in this. So they were really trying to, hit a market or hit a quota, or just a lot of cat lovers right now with this indie on this team putting together this presentation. They're like, let's hit them with the cats right in the face. Throw these fur balls at them. So they were throwing a lot of fur balls out there. I think one of the cat games looked like something I would maybe want to try. I still kind of want to play Stray on the PlayStation. Would be the top cat game on my on my radar. But this one's adding a lot of other ones to the mix. But there were a few games here that I was interested in, and one of those is Rift of the NecroDancer. I wrote this seems cool. It's a spin-off of Crypt of the NecroDancer, which I have played. Rift is a rhythm game with lane-based combat, powerful monsters, and boss fights. This one outlet said it's Guitar Hero with monster battles. And no guitar peripheral is what I wrote. That's a hard word to say, peripheral. Survival horror peripheral. That would be a tough thing to sell. I would be a bad salesman of those if I had to sell survival horror peripherals. That'd be tough. I wouldn't be selling very many of them. Rift of the NecroDancer, back to that, will feature multiple characters, a new storyline, and it figures to be one of 2023's standout games when Brace Yourself Games releases it later this year. So that must be the studio, Brace Yourself Games. And I don't know if I would buy this right away. I got the other Crypt of the NecroDancer on a sale back in the day and sort of enjoyed some of that. There was another game called A Cadence of Hyrule that looked really cool, which added all the Zelda themes and music and elements into on top of the Crypt of the NecroDancer formula. So a new game that was really cool. I always thought about buying that. So these are just, these games, I think these are probably pretty timeless classic games you could play, especially in this genre. So just wanted to highlight that. Maybe you want to play it, and I might as well. All right, the next game is the coolest looking one that I thought, and it's called Bomb Rush Cyberfunk. And they didn't show a lot of this game, but you saw it like there was like I don't know what it's called. They did a quick cuts of just showing some gameplay footage and showing the title of the game. And this one was called Bomb Rush Cyberfunk. Not punk, but Cyberfunk. So get your funk ready, get your funk on. All right, this is Jet Set Radio's stunning spiritual successor, and it launches 8/18/2023. So August 18th, 2023. Got a couple months till that, but we're going to get the spiritual successor to Jet Set Radio. The Great Volness of the Dep Lewis Show music fame is a huge Jet Set Radio fan, I believe. So I'll be interested to see what he thinks about this. This is a cel-shaded platformer, first announced in 2020. You'll be skating, you'll be dancing, and graffitiing across a colorful 3D city with style to die for. Team Reptile, wow. I remember writing this down. That's got to be one of the cooler names of a studio, Team Reptile. And that's the name of the studio developing this game. And I had to write that down because I hope to remember that in the future when I'm thinking of developer names. I want to talk about Team Reptile. They sound like badasses. The music in this game is by Hideki Naganuma, and he is back on the music production. His jazz, hip-hop, and funk fusion meet Jet Set Radio's tunes. Oh, it meant, this is what somebody was saying. It meant Jet Set Radio's tunes would worm their way into your memory permanently, and the snippets we've heard of this new music sounds just as good. So there's also a hint of UK garage in the mix, adding to the slightly rebellious vibes, is what somebody said. This game releases on PC via Steam and Switch initially, followed by other platforms in quotations at a later date. So this is something that people should be trying to buy on their Nintendo Switch, unless we hear that it runs poorly somehow. But this game looks really cool. It visually look cool. It sounds like the music is the main meat of this game. So this would be something I want to look into some more. I like that. I think this game's been, it's been announced for a while. I don't know if we had a date. I don't know yet, but I didn't know anything about this game, and it sounds like some people did. But it's coming out in August, so they could still be working on it some. I think it's pretty cool. I think it could. I don't know why I think this, but I think it could speak to the quality of the game that it's coming out in August, and they just started. This is not an announcement or whatever, but I think it's good. It's not coming out like so soon. Like it's not going to be May. I think it coming out in August shows that. I don't know. I'm talking out my ass with this, but that's what this whole show is about. But I just think it's a good sign. I think it's more of like an official thing than like a quick throwaway release. I think it's cool to having some runway in between it. And I think that probably speaks to the quality of it. But I could be wrong, but we'll talk about it some more in August when this game is released. But it looks really cool. So that's called Bomb Rush Cyberfunk. So get your funk on. All right, the last bit of news from the show that I've actually reported and talked about here on the Dep Lewis Show before. But they brought it up in this show again because it's an upcoming release, and that is the Cult of the Lamb, Relics of the Old Faith DLC. So they showed some footage from that, and then the details from that. It's an April 24th, 2023 free update, new buildings for your coven. And I had to look up what a coven was. A coven is a group or gathering of witches who meet regularly. So, learning some words. We learned about isekai earlier. Now we're learning about a coven. And I guess it's possible a coven could be, there could be an isekai about a coven. So that's something we could see one day. But a coven is a group or gathering of witches who meet regularly, new followers, and a new permanent death difficulty are in the game. So Cult of the Lamb, the base game is $24.99, and I just checked because that's what I do on the Dep Lewis Show, and it's on sale right now for $16.24 on the Nintendo Switch, United States store, digital storefront. And that's on sale till April 26, 2023. So you have a few days if you're listening to this podcast in real time to go cop that game. And I would recommend that game 100%. That was definitely on the Dep Lewis Show Game of the Year list for 2022. And I can wholeheartedly recommend that game to mostly anybody. Yep, and there was lots of games with Cat shown in the Nintendo Indie World, but it was a great show. So go watch it and go check out for those games that I mentioned right there. All right, let me just have a sip of this delicious coffee. Still slightly hot. All right, the next thing I want to talk about is an upcoming event. And I'm going to be, I'm always being mysterious here before I tell you what it is. But it's an upcoming event, and I'm currently 3-2 in these. I won the last one, and it's a Splatfest, baby. It's a Splatfest number 6, and it is a Legend of Zelda themed Splatfest. And it is a tie-in to celebrate the launch of Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. And for this Splatfest, you need to choose which piece of the Triforce you seek. Is it going to be courage? Is it going to be wisdom? Or is it going to be power? Pick the one. And I'm going to pick the team I'm going to join on the show. The team I'm going to join on the show this week. So let me think about it. Courage, wisdom, or power? Which part of the Triforce do I want to seek? I'm going to say the Dep Lewis Show for Splatfest number 6 is going to choose the Courage Squad. We're going to be on the Courage team out here for the Dep Lewis Show. So if you want to join the Dep Lewis Show and fighting for the Courage, join that team, and you can play in the Splatfest in North America from May 5th to May 7th, and that is Friday through Sunday. There's different times for Australia, New Zealand, UK, Europe, and Japan, so check those out. I believe they start a little bit later and run a little bit further than the US dates, but go check those out if you're interested. It's all happening over that weekend, and I'm very surprised to see Zelda and Splatoon. I don't know why I didn't expect that, but it's Nintendo properties, so they're going to market them simultaneously. So it's just cool. I just didn't know they really did that with Splatfest. Last time was like Aliens, Bigfoot, or Loch Ness Monster. They've done like chocolate and white chocolate and dark chocolate, so it's been more, not specific things, but it's pretty cool. So we're going to pick the Courage team for this of the Triforce because I think out of those, the Dep Lewis Show and myself could use some more courage. You got to put yourself out there. You got to do some things. You got to try some new things. So I think that'll be a good one to pick for this particular Splatfest. So I'm hoping to get another dub and be in the win column, and I can be 4-2 in these Splatfests. So I'm going to be playing this that weekend. So it's only a couple weekends away. So I'll definitely be playing some. So if you want to join me out there on the video game streets, come join Dep Lewis Show and taking over for the Courage team out there. Splatfest number 6, coming to Splatoon 3, May 5th to May 7th. All right, now let's get into some releases. There's been a lot of releases. Let me go down here. One's a DLC, one's a collection of games, one's another collection of games. All right, yeah, we got a lot here. So buckle in, get ready. All right, the next release is Horizon Forbidden West. Has some DLC, and it's called the Burning Shores DLC. This is a PS5 release, and it came out on 4/19/2023 for $19.99. This is a PS5 exclusive. You heard it here. There are no PS4 plans for this, apparently. So if you want to play this game, Horizon Forbidden West is a PS4 and PS5 game. But if you want to play the Burning Shores DLC, you must have the PS5 version on the PS5. So this is a PS5 exclusive. I didn't see any positive articles talking about this coming to PS4. So they're just trying to, use the hardware, the upgraded hardware, to, I guess, they're developing this towards the end of their dev cycle, and we're mainly focused on the next gen. Is probably how it went, and we're just going to be seeing that more and more these days. I think this is really going to be the year of the switch over to the next gen. I think this year you'll still be having some tricklings down to the old gen, but I think probably next year we'll be seeing mostly things being released on next gen, and things like Madden and FIFA and Call of Duty might get like a version on like old consoles, but I think these people are going to start focusing on the next gen, which is actually the current gen because it's been going on for some years now. But let's talk about this Horizon Forbidden West Burning Shores DLC. Travel beyond the Forbidden West as Aloy's story continues, encounter new machines and a compelling new story. So to enter the Burning Shores, you must complete the main quest, up to and including Singularity, in the PS5 version of Horizon Forbidden West. Following the main quest, the player will receive a call over Aloy's focus, beginning the DLC. And you will be able to experience the next chapter of Horizon Forbidden West as Aloy pursues a sinister new threat to the planet, hidden among the dangerous Untamed Wilds. Additional content, including new characters and experiences in a stunning yet hazardous new area. So, I've been playing, I've played Horizon Forbidden West. I'm probably 20 or 30% through it. I just started playing it randomly last year. I got this game for free when I bought my PlayStation, which was amazing. And I have no reason to buy this Burning Shores DLC because I need to have completed the game, but it's something that I could see myself purchasing in the future. Maybe it'll be on sale. That'd be great. And, just going through this now, I'm thinking it'll be cool to see, because if they are only releasing this on next gen, it makes it cool to think maybe it's like extra special looking or extra unique, or they were able to do some things they weren't able to fit into the main game. Not that the main game doesn't look amazing, because I think I've said before, it might be one of the best looking games I've seen, but if they were really able just to focus on a smaller section of expanding the story, maybe they did something crazy with the visuals. So I would love to see that at some point. So I actually have been, Nextlander was talking about this, and I saw Janet Garcia streaming this, but I didn't really want to watch too much of it because I really do like this game and could see myself playing some more of it one day. So I just wanted to make you aware that DLC is available. If you've completed Horizon Forbidden West and want to play some more, it's the perfect time to if you got $20. All right, the next game. This game came out on 4/14/2023, and it's the Mega Man Battle Network Collection. And it looks like you can get this on Windows, Nintendo Switch, and PlayStation only currently. I checked on the Switch, and it's $59.99, so it's a full price release. This is something I watched some video of, and it looks cool, and I never really knew of this form of Mega Man. It's more of a grid-based kind of battle thing, and I'm kind of into that based on Fire Emblem, so it could be something that I've just never played, and that maybe I should at some point. I don't know if I'll purchase this right away, but I just kind of put this on my radar, and so you might want to put it on your radar too, so I'll tell you a little more about it. This bundle includes Mega Man Battle Network Legacy Collection Volume 1 and Mega Man Battle Network Collection Volume 2, and I'll tell you more about that in a second. The battle network is back. Get ready to jack into the net to face off against deadly enemy programs and electrifying grid-based battles, and search the net for rare and powerful battle chips to build the ultimate deck of special moves. It looks like there's 10 different games in this collection, and so there was like 5 games in that collection 1, 5 games in that collection 2. That's a pretty robust collection, I would say, and these are supposed to be very cool games, and if you like grid-based combat, they're supposed to be very good, and they had a lot of nice color, and it looked really cool. It just looked like fun, appealing things to see, and there's probably some cool combat related in there, and I need to watch more and look into this more, and so I wanted to bring it up here on the Dep Lewis Show that this is something that's pretty neat. And I'm surprised, though, this game is full price. It's $60, so that you would hope would speak to the quality or speak to the amount of content in this game. But, normally collections are running more like $39.99 or cheaper or something like that, and maybe if there's 10 games, there's only 3 of them that you really want to play. So I don't know, I can't speak for this collection, but if most of these games were very cool, that would be a really cool thing to have. I like these, 10 games for the price of one is a pretty good concept when you think about it that way. So, depending on the quality of the games, it can be a really cool thing. So go check it out, Mega Man Battle Network Collection. And maybe one day I'll learn how to say the title of that game. That'd be appropriate for a show about video games. You dummy. You big dummy. Let me get some coffee real quick. All right, that's going to help the show. It's going to help the show. All right, the next thing I want to talk about, because there's some more releases. We got 3 more. All right, the next game released on 4/21/2023 for $59.99 on Nintendo Switch, and that is Advance Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp. It is officially out, so you can go cop that game now. That game's been delayed for a minute just because of happenings around the world, so they've had some more time to polish this game up and get it ready for release. These are turn-based battles and 2 classic campaigns, so some more turn-based battles for you, some more grid-based kind of happenings. This game is included in the Nintendo Game Voucher Promotion list, so if you want to go give Nintendo $100, they'll give you 2 vouchers, and you can cop any 2 games from their list. One of those games is Advance Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp, and the other big notable game on that list is The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, the new sequel coming out 5/12. So you can go do that right now. If you really want to buy Advance Wars on 1+2 and you have another game you want to buy, please check out the Nintendo Game Voucher Promotion list. And I watched Nextlander play this, and it looked pretty cool. I like the way the characters looked, and I do like all the color in this game. It's kind of like it's not more pastel, but it's just very bright and vivid colors. The characters are very cartoony, and it looks fun. The combat looks cool, and there's 2 campaigns in here, and they're both supposed to be really good. I've heard people arguing 1 versus 2 and stuff like that, so it seems like they're pretty comparable in how good they are, so that's pretty nice to hear. And I just don't have time for this game right now, I don't think, but it's something I could be playing in the future, so we will see. And I've also been thinking about buying it with the Nintendo Switch game voucher promotion. And just while we're talking about that, other games on that voucher promotion that I'm interested in are Pikmin 4 is on there. It's another one I think about, and I've even thought about Octopath Traveler 1, but I really want to get Octopath Traveler 2. And then Live Alive is another game on the voucher promotion that I'm interested in. But it's only a $49.99 game, so it's not the most value for your buck, but you're still getting, if you bought that, you'd still be getting $20 off or something like that. But just things to think about. Go check out that Nintendo Switch game voucher promotion right now if you got $100 and you want to play some Nintendo games. All right, so the next game that came out was released on April 18th, 2023. It's crazy that there's this many games coming out, and I think all these games are pretty decent quality. I don't think any of these games anybody is like talking mad shit on. Nobody's like really disappointed in them. They've all seemed very good and like solid releases, and if not better. So bravo to all these people and all these things coming out at once and all these options is insane. So, but this game is called Minecraft Legends. It released on 4/18/2023. It's a real-time action strategy video game developed by Mojang Studios and Blackbird Interactive and published by Xbox Game Studios. So look at Xbox getting one of their own games out there for once. And they're putting it everywhere, though. This platforms are on Switch, PS4, PS5, Xbox, all the Xbox consoles, Xbox One, Xbox Series S and X, and more. Available as part of the Xbox Game Pass, so that's a big one. And the back of the box talk on this game is the piglins are threatening to consume the overworld. Are you the hero this gentle land needs? Explore lush biomes to make alliances with new friends and familiar mobs. Then face the piglins in epic battles. But be warned, they always fight back. And I haven't heard... the things I've heard about this game are a little underwhelming, but it's just kind of been more like blah or like blasé, like, it's a, whatever. I've heard things like it's simpler from what they've expected. This, I don't know, I think it was either MinMax or Nextlander I heard talking about this, and I feel like both vibes from them were just, it was kind of okay, but they hadn't played too much of it, and could have been in like an older demo for this game. Like I could even be in an older demo for this game, but it's cool that they are, it's a different style. It's like a, an action strategy game. So a lot of these, or it's a real-time action strategy game. So we got a lot of these kind of games going on right now, and this is just one for the Minecraft fan base, basically. But I've downloaded this game since it's on Game Pass. I haven't got around to trying it yet, but I'll probably boot it up this week and just see what it's about and see if there's anything cool about it. And it's just a really big release and something I want to highlight. And I bet a lot of people will be playing this just based on the Minecraft name. And if they have any interesting mechanics in there, I think it could be pretty successful. It looks cool. The style of it looks cool, and the graphics look cool and things like that. So I think it has all that covered. I think it's just if the game's fun to play, I think it'll it can have a chance of having some good success. So we will see. And that's on Game Pass. So if you want to go play it, go download it to your console right now. All right, the last game we're going to talk about in this section, also released. Let's see, did I write when this game came out? No, I did not. I believe this game is out now completely. It must have come out last week, and that is Dead Island 2. It is an action RPG developed by Dambuster Studios and published by Deep Silver. It is a sequel to the 2011 video game Dead Island, and the third major installment in the Dead Island series. It's available on PS5, PS4, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, and Microsoft Windows, so you can get this on next and old gen. Across the board, no Nintendo Switch. And this game is $69.99 for standard version. And, I say no Nintendo Switch, and while I'm saying that, I'm like, yeah, no duh, because this game looks really, really nice. The graphics in this game are very impressive. I was watching Nextlander play some of this, and, the graphics and the scenery and the visuals, I've said 19 times this podcast about different things, but look really, really impressive on this. It was Leo Vader also. They were talking about this on the MinMax show. And Leo Vader was saying he thinks this is the best looking PS5 game out there. Not that it's an exclusive, but it's been the best looking game on the PS5 console, which that's kind of a weird distinction now thinking about it, but I think they were just kind of talking a little more quickly about it, and he was saying that there's not too much better to play on the PS5 looking than this. And Hanson was bringing up Ratchet and Clank, and I think that would be a good argument, but it's impressive. This game is looking that visually impressive. And I watched some footage of this just based on, the positivity I heard from some podcasts. And then after watching the gameplay footage, I don't know if it's something I'd want to play. It looks like something, it's just, I don't know. I just don't know if I have time to play it and if it would be the exact game I would choose. It looks more like a survival horror without any kind of like story to it, or like significant story is my take on it. It's more of just about the combat and the fighting. And I don't know if that's something that would really hook me to the survival horror genre. I like a little bit of the story and moving along like that. And I don't know, but I was surprised to hear some positive things about this, because I just don't know much about this franchise in general. But I wanted to bring up the positivity of the Dead Island 2 vibes out there. So, go check out some footage on that. Definitely would be the move to do. Especially after, if this is the first time hearing about it, go check out some gameplay footage. Go listen to some other podcasts talk about it who have played it, and it might be up your alley. So it seems like it could be of good quality. So go check it out. So that is going to wrap up the mid section. We've smoked all the mid we can. We talked about the Nintendo Indie World. We talked about that upcoming Splatfest that's going to be Legend of Zelda themed. We talked about the Horizon Forbidden West Burning Shores DLC. We talked about all the new releases: Mega Man Battle Network Collection, Advance Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp, Minecraft Legends, and Dead Island 2. So if you're bored and have nothing to play, you got no excuses. If you got some cash or if you got some Game Pass, you can go play some of these and try them out. And you can email DepLewisShow@gmail.com and tell me what you think. And I will possibly, highlight your opinion on this show, because, it's just would be a great thing to do. And nice to get different perspectives on things. So that's going to wrap up the midsection of this show. We're going to take another break. You're going to hear some more wonderful music, and then we're going to come back for the miscellaneous talk section. So go do what you need to do, but don't go nowhere. Come on back. welcome back to the final section of Dep Lewis Show, episode 29. This is the Miscellaneous Talk section. We got some miscellaneous talk for you today. So let's get right into it. So I want to talk about some comedy stuff here first and tell you about some things that I think are cool. So I watched a new special this week by Jay Larson, and I think you should too. It's titled Sounds Like Bruce. You can watch this on Jay Larson's YouTube channel right now. It's around 52 minutes and 37 seconds. So, playing around 53 minutes for your day to watch this. It was very funny and enjoyable. I had no prior Jay experience besides I saw him on YMH this week, Your Mom's House, with Tom Segura and Christina Pajitsky. And that was my introduction to him. And I also saw him on Hey Babe this week with Chris and Sal. So, good job on Jay getting out there, promoting himself on these shows. And he at least got one person to go watch a special, and I bet there was many more. So he shot this at the Creek in the Cave in Austin, Texas. That's the same place where Shane Gillis shot his special. And go watch it, like it, do all those things, share it, post it on Twitter, tell someone about it, and it was just very good. And it was a nice surprise I'm loving this, recent phenomena, however you say that, of these YouTube specials coming out, and they're flooding to the market right now, and they've all been very good. And maybe I'm an easy sell on some of these because I just like watching them so much, but I've really been enjoying them, and I like having the options, and I like learning about new people, and it's really cool when you learn about someone and then there's a product or a special immediately to watch. So I got to see this guy on YMH, and then he's saying, hey, go watch my special, it's out now. And I think that's just very smart and good planning, and just once again, bravo to all the people involved in shooting this, and Jay himself and writing it and performing it, and all the pieces that go into getting that on the YouTube. And it's just impressive, and it was good and fun to watch, and I'm just here to tell you that you should too. So go check that out. Jay Larson's new special, Sounds Like Bruce, on the YouTube. All right, the next special is by a very famous comedian that I've never watched and I don't have very much information on. But since I'm doing this Dep Lewis Show in this miscellaneous talk section, I thought it would be a good chance for me to get some information and also bring it up to you because you're probably interested in it as well. And that is that John Mulaney has a special coming out. This is coming out soon on Netflix. He was on Theo Vaughn's podcast this week, so I thought that was interesting. I never see John Mulaney on any podcast that I like. He's never guested on any of the comedy podcasts I like. You never really hear them talk about him too much. He kind of sounds like a little bit of an enigma, if that's the right word. He just sounds like he does his own thing, and he does it very successfully. And I was surprised he was on Theo's. I didn't really watch it. I should at some point if I want to learn some more, but I just did some Googling on him. But John Mulaney has a new special coming out called Baby J. I couldn't figure out when it was coming out. No, it comes out on April 25th, 2023. So John Mulaney's new special comes out on Netflix April 25th, 2023, and it's called Baby J. So you can go watch that a couple of days after this podcast releases. So pretty cool. He has two prior Netflix specials, The Comeback Kid in 2015 and Kid Gorgeous in 2018, were his two prior specials. And maybe I'll just watch this as part of my, I don't know, for my liking of comedy. I'll go check it out, and then I'll be able to say, hey, I've seen a John Mulaney special. So if you have any thoughts or feedback on that, email DepLewisShow@gmail.com if you have any John Mulaney thoughts, or if you have other comedians that have released specials or things that I should go check out, email that email box and let me know. I'll definitely, watch them if I have time. And so just let me know out there in the universe. All right, so another comedian I've been turned on to this week is Colin Quinn. I saw him on Chrissy Chaos's podcast, and I had to look up some info on Colin Quinn because I really liked him on Chrissy's show, Chris DiStefano, his podcast, Chrissy Chaos. He also does Hey Babe, and Chris is a really, really funny comedian, but apparently so is Colin Quinn. He's a 63-year-old comedian from Brooklyn, New York, so he's been around doing the damn thing. I've just been the one missing out on him. I've definitely heard of him, but I just never, watched him on a podcast or a show or seen any of his comedy or anything. But he has been a writer, and he was a cast member on SNL. He did the Weekend Update for a while. So it's possible I would remember some of that stuff from back in the day, but I don't know. He has a new show called Colin Quinn's Small Talk, and it's a one-man show is what it sounds like. And I feel like I was trying to research this. I think he's had a run of this show before, but his current run, if that's how it works, is right now going from March 30th to May 6th at the Greenwich House Theater in New York City. It's directed by James Favell. I hope I'm saying that right. And it's an essential part of the Broadway landscape. So this is more It seems like a little more than just a comedy show. It sounds like Colin has some Broadway chops, and he obviously has some acting chops from being on SNL and live performance. This is a 70-minute show with no intermission. I was looking up tickets, just being interested, and I just picked a random section, and there was a ticket for like $80. So these look like they, I don't know if I want to say they're expensive or not, but that was a little bit, it's not like a $40 comedy ticket. This seems more of like a real big show kind of thing, and I don't know much about the Greenwich House Theater, but it's probably very nice and in a nice area and that kind of thing. So go check out Colin Quinn. I'll be more interested if I see him on a, and right before the show, Tim Dillon's show releases over the weekend, and it just, I saw it this morning when I woke up and was checking YouTube, and Colin Quinn's on Tim Dillon's show this week. So I'll definitely be watching that before the end of the day, and you should go check that out too. And that was just awesome to see. Like, it's like when I saw Jay Larson, it's nice to see these guys pop up on these podcasts, and you can see different, they're different sides of the personality depending on the podcast they're on. It's pretty cool. So I'll be interested to see Colin Quinn on Tim Dillon. Tim Dillon's show is the best one around. So go listen to Tim Dillon. His podcast is amazing. It probably is my favorite out there. All right. So let's get in. So that's going to end the comedy talk this week. So go watch those specials. Go check out those dudes. They're all very funny, and you'll get some enjoyment out of them. All right. The world of sports. The Carolina Panthers, the official NFL team of the Dep Lewis Show. The draft is in, less than a week now, I think, at this point. I think we'll be... Wow. It was 9 days whenever I wrote this note, but it's been a few days since then. So next week we could be possibly talking about the Carolina Panthers first-round draft pick, and I think it is going to be Bryce Young. That's going to be my prediction here, and I'm going to be happy with that. Everyone just wants to bring up his size, that he's small, but he played at Alabama, and he was successful, and he's been doing it. And they call him the Steph Curry of football. So, God, I hope he is. That would be amazing. So, we'll be talking about that next week. So, just getting ready for the draft. I want the Panthers to extend Brian Burns, pay Brian Burns a lot of money, make him the highest paid edge rusher in the league, please. And then the last thing, I saw Miles Sanders had a press conference this week. They had Andy Dalton and Miles Sanders. They brought him to the podium and let him talk to the media. And Miles Sanders looked jacked, or jocked, as Pat McAfee show would say. He was looking jocked in that presser. He seems really cool too, and I'm glad to have him as our running back. I hope he'll be a great weapon for the Carolina Panthers this year. All right, more sports. The Atlanta Hawks. They won Game 3 at home versus Celtics, so that series is now, the Hawks are down 1-2 or 2-1. The next game is actually Sunday, so it's actually today, April 23rd, 2023. So the Hawks need to get another win at home. Would be great. It was a good overall win. The Hawks were pretty much in control most of that game. It's good to see Trey out there balling. It's good to see DeJounte out there balling. Team working well together. I'm really kind of becoming more of a fan of Quinn Snyder, the coach. And I think the Celtics are going to be a tall order to beat them in a series, but I would love to see this get tied up today. So that is the hope, and I will report back to you next week on what the Hawks have been doing and my thoughts on it. So we will see. All right, so let's get into some baseball. I wanted to bring up this as a silly kind of thing, a silly kind of aside, that you hear this all the time. Inside baseball. We don't want to get too inside baseball. And people also say things like, we don't want to get too in the weeds here. But then I was thinking, anytime anyone says this, you end up getting too in the weeds, or you end up getting inside the baseball. So you should just say that you're going to talk about it. It's just being silly that I'm pointing this out, but you hear that inside baseball term across everywhere. Even if it's not about baseball, you hear it about football. You hear it maybe like even at your corporate job, you'll hear them talk about this. You might hear it, you definitely hear people talking about comedy. Oh, it's too inside baseball. Or we're getting too inside baseball with comedy scoops. It's like, I know I overuse words on this podcast a lot, but this is a phrase getting overused in the lexicon out there of the world. So just want to bring it up. And then the two in the weeds. I was trying to think of other terms like this, but usually when people are saying that thing, you're doing the exact, you're doing that exact thing while saying it. So just something stupid I wanted to point out. So now let's get inside baseball of the Atlanta Braves, the major league team, the official Major League Baseball team of the Dep Lewis Show, the Atlanta Braves. All right, let's see my notes here this week. It's been a busy week for the Braves. Been playing a lot. Let's see. And they've been losing to the Astros the last two nights, so that's been sad. We have the Astros again today at 1 o'clock, so I'm hoping that the Braves can get a win and don't get swept by the damn Astros. Mr. Alvarez is probably the enemy number one for me of this season. He hit the bomb to win the game 2 nights ago, and then was hitting the bomb again last night, just being an overall menace to the Braves. So, Mr. Jordan Alvarez, you are enemy number one of the Dep Lewis Show and the baseball universe. Mr. Alvarez, get your act together. Quit balling against the Braves. Do it against another team, and leave the Braves the hell alone, Mr. Alvarez. They didn't do anything to deserve this. And you're probably a nice guy, but leave them the hell alone, dude. Be cool, be chill, be nice, do the right thing, and leave the Braves alone, Mr. Alvarez. Quit with the bombs. You stink. You stink, you stink, you stink. But let's see. The Braves won every game last week. That was a positive. They beat the Reds and the Royals. So go Braves. I was glad Kyle Wright was back. Max Fried was supposed to start in the upcoming week, and he did. He was back. They won Monday night when he started against the Padres. So welcome back, Max Fried. Mr. number 54 back on the mound. They should extend him as well. They should pay him a large bag of money to keep him on the team for the long term. Let's see. Tuesday night, the Braves played the Padres. We're going back in the future. Strider started. Braves won the game. Olsen had a massive bomb in the ninth to run up that score. And Ozzie had a bomb that game as well, late in the game. And then it's been on to the Astros, so that's been a little bit deflating to end the week. But the Braves have been doing very well. I don't have any doubts about them at this point. And I don't want them to get swept by the Astros. I think that'll be a bad look. But if they can get this win today, I think that'll be okay. They've been having enough success where they can have a little bit of a few losses and it not really matter too much. Or they'll be able to just shrug it right off because they are the Atlanta Braves. And next week, they're home versus Miami, the Marlins, and then they're away at the New York Mets. The New York Mets are if Alvarez is the biggest enemy number one player in the league right now, the Mets are probably enemy number one just because they're the Mets. It could be the Mets or the Phillies, but the Mets are pretty stank of a team, and I'm not a fan of the Mets, and I want the Braves to tromp them and kick their ass and beat them and, just really do the damn thing up there in New York, the Big Apple. All right. But the Atlanta Braves need to get that win today. That's my main goal. So go Braves, get that win today. And the City Connect jerseys are beautiful. And I love seeing those on Saturday night. And I love seeing the Braves whenever they play. So go Braves, go. Official team of the Dep Lewis Show. So that's going to wrap up the Miscellaneous Talk section. We talk comedy, so go watch Jay Larson's comedy special, Sounds Like Bruce. Go check out John Mulaney's special coming out this week called Baby J. It comes out 4/25/2023. Go check out Colin Quinn on Chrissy Chaos. That was a great podcast. Check out Colin Quinn on Tim J. Dillon Show this week. I'm going to watch that after this episode. And then go check out Colin Quinn's show up there in New York if you want to go see that. We talked about the Carolina Panthers. We got the draft coming up. We talked about the Hawks. Still in the midst of a series against the Celtics. We got Inside Baseball on the Atlanta Braves. They need to get a win today against the Astros. Mr. Alvarez has been put on notice by the Dep Lewis Show, and then next week they got the Marlins and the Mets. So a lot of division games next week. So they need to get a lot of dubs next week. And the Dep Lewis Show, I need to get a lot of dubs before next week. All the loyal listeners out there, I hope you get a lot of dubs before next week. I hope things go great for you. I hope you have a good week of video games. Hope you play some of these releases. I hope you drop some cash. Hope you watch some of these comedy specials. Maybe you'll laugh a few times. And the weather's getting good, so go work on your tan. Go sit by a pool or jump in some water if you can, if you're brave enough. It's not too cold yet. And just thank you for listening to this show as always. I really appreciate you listening. I really appreciate any interaction you have with the Dep Lewis Show on any of my platforms, or just listening to this podcast. I really appreciate you. And just some to reiterate the homework. Please follow Dep Lewis Show everywhere. Like, subscribe, rate, comment, review, turn on notifications, and tell a friend. Email any questions or feedback to DepLewisShow@gmail.com. Full episodes of Dep Lewis Show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, YouTube, Patreon, and more on my Buzzsprout page. Clips of the show are on YouTube and TikTok. And I just thank the hell out of you for listening to this show. I enjoy doing it every week. This has been the 29th time in a row that I've done the Dep Lewis Show. So if you don't know, now you know. And I'm sorry that I got to go, but I'll be back next week for another show, and that is episode number 30. So I'll see you next week for episode 30. Thank you so much for listening to this show, episode 29. And you're the best listeners in the world. And thank you for listening to this podcast, and I will see you next week. So listen to this music. Have a great day. Peace.